Hello friends, let's first start with the program which is very simple in nature. That is, I'm supposed to find the largest of two numbers using a function called as max. So as usual, first let's identify what need to go outside main so that we'll have a layout. Assume that this is my program which is going to be a part of my main. So your main will now read the input, then the processing goes in a function called as max. So the value goes to max, and this max returns the largest of these, and the output defines in main. So main now accepts input from the user, gives it to max. Max does the task, gives it to the main, and main again delivers the output to the user. So ultimately the values, the input should come from the user and the output should go to the user. This is how we are supposed to trace out. Let me put this particular path one more time. The values are accepted in a main, the processing is done in a function called as max. Max does the entire thing and gives the values back to the output, because max is going to return only largest of two numbers, that is only one. So then we are going to deliver this particular output. Let's look at this particular code. I have this particular code where the function definition and the function declaration have been written. You'll identify some uniqueness in this particular function definition. Before that, let's say the values are going to come from the user. Enter two numbers, read those two numbers as A and B. The values come from the user and get stored into A and B. So the values A and B are stored. Suppose assume that A is 10 and say B is say 12. A receives values from main, B also receives value from the user. These values are now copied to max. It means that I'm supposed to give a call to max. So this max will give a call and copy the value of A and B. So I'll copy the value of A and B to X and Y. So A goes to variable X, B goes to a variable called as Y. So X is 10 and Y is 12. So from the call, the value goes to the definition, because the processing is not supposed to be done in main, the processing is supposed to be done in function. Since it goes to X and Y. So if I find largest of X and Y, it is as good as finding largest of A and B. Since what I'll do is I'll find largest of X and Y. If X greater than Y, I'll say return X, else I'll say return Y. I have two return instructions. Does it mean that it will return two values? No, because in if else, either if will execute or else will execute. So you can have multiple return instruction, but it will not return multiple value X and Y. So since X and Y are of type integer, return type is integer. So return X or return Y has to be copied at this place. Let me store this result into variable L, and I can have printf largest equals to %d comma L. So here I'm trying to find the largest. So I'm going to have a declaration that is max, two arguments, int, and return is int, hence it is int. So this is my declaration, this is my call, and this is my definition. So function declaration and function definition will have two separate set of variables. Function call and function definition will have two separate set of variables. Always values are received into variables in main. These are actual arguments, and when they get copied, they are stored into formal arguments. Now, if I ask you to modify the same program rather than the function, let the function be as it is. Let this max be as it is. Using the same max, if I ask you to find the largest of four numbers, how do you plan out the program? So when I say that I'm supposed to find largest of four numbers, so the first thing which I'm supposed to do, I'm supposed to read four values, A, B, C, D. I'll read four values, A, B, C, D, and then I'll call this particular max. But when you call max, max can accept only two values. How to find the largest of four numbers? Think about the logic. If you wish, you can pause this and then check, study the entire code one more time and try to trace out a logic which will build the program, not the max, for largest of four numbers. So let the max be as it is. Max be as it is. You are supposed to modify only the program such that the program is going to find the largest of four numbers. Have a break, pause this, think, and then have a continuation. Now, I hope that you have some material with you. Let's check out how this particular program can be modified so that it will be generating for four numbers. Now, if you find, you will not find any output right now because I have not written anything new. Don't expect an answer directly from me. You are supposed to think and then participate in the entire session so that you can have answers on your own. Obviously, I'll be there to help you out. Now, the max is still as it is. I've said the function, I've just written the input part. So I'll ask the user to enter 4 numbers, and I'm going to read the 4 numbers as A, B, C, D. I've declared 4 variables A, B, C, D. Now, I'm supposed to make a function call. There are 2 ways to make a function call. I'm supposed to give a call to max, but limitation is that max can accept only 2 values. So let me find largest of A and B. So A goes to X, B goes to Y. It returns the values of X and Y, and let me collect this into say L1. I'll make use of a variable say L1. Now let me use one more variable as L2. So L2 is now going to find largest of what? C and D. So largest of C and D. C goes to X, D goes to Y. This variable X and Y are not going to be storing permanently. Variable X just receives values from C, and when function ends, the variable gets destroyed. Variable D goes to Y. When function ends, again the variable gets destroyed. So C goes to X, D goes to Y. X greater than Y, return X. X greater than Y, false, return Y. So L2 receives. So L1 is largest of A and B. L2 is largest of C and D. So now I'm supposed to find largest of L1, L2. So I'll again give a call to max. This time I'll say L1, L2, and here I'll say L. So max is now L1, L2. So L1 goes to X, L2 goes to Y. It returns one among these values, and that is stored into L. And here I'll say largest equals to L. So I'm supposed to define one more variable as L. Have I changed the program or the function definition? I've changed the program and not changed the function. Now this is one of the greatest advantages of using functions. If I could have used a if-else structure, then it could have been a lengthy nested if-else structure. But here I've used a simple if-else structure and found the largest of 4 numbers. Right? Now I can simplify this particular code further. Since the function definition has been used thrice, it doesn't mean that I'm supposed to write it 3 times. One definition is sufficient so that I can give. And the declaration is also supposed to return only once. The function call can be made any number of times. So I can compress this entire set into a single instruction. If you feel that why to use variables L, L1, L2? Why can't we manage with only L? I can write only with variable L. I'll say L equals to, observe this particular definition, max. First I wish to find what? Largest of A and B. So I'll say max A comma B, comma. In the bracket I'll say max C comma D. Bracket complete, and then this. Now what it does, when a function is called inside another function, we call this as a nested function call or function nesting. The inner function call is always given more priority, max A comma B. So A goes on to X, B goes on to Y, and then the largest is stored temporarily by the compiler at this place, comma. Max C comma D, C goes to X, D goes to Y, again the temporary result comes at this place. These 2 temporary results will again go back and get stored onto X and Y, and then that will be stored by this particular L. When a function is called inside another function, then a semicolon for the inner function is not necessary. You should avoid that. Only the last function call should have a semicolon. So here I have used the actual advantages of using these functions. So we found the largest of 2 numbers, then we modified the same function to find the largest of 4 numbers. To be precise, we have not modified the function definition, we have just modified the function calls. We made several calls to the function so that we can find largest of 4 numbers. So that is about the concepts of finding largest of 4 numbers or largest of 2 numbers using a function called as max. Even though max has got 2 return instruction, doesn't mean that it will return multiple values. Thank you.